Hello friends, I'm Vikram from eZeon Technologies. Welcome to my project work series based on Spring Framework. I hope you are enjoying my work. If you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe now. Now let's move on to the work. In my previous video session, I discussed about how to configure data source, and in my today's video I'm going to discuss about how to develop DAOs in the project. So DAOs stands for data access object, which is a very important class in the project, and today we'll learn how to implement DAO using Spring JDBC template API. And we also talk about how to test the DAOs independently out of the MVC layer. Right, so let's begin. Before moving to the coding, let's have a look at the organization and the arrangement of the classes here. So there is one class in the Spring API which is named parameter JDBC DAO support. So this class will provide you the preparation of the JDBC template object and named parameter JDBC template object. It is also helping us in managing the scope of the connection. So this is what the base class I'm going to derive here, and I have customized here one more class called base DAO, and this is created by me, and this class will inject data source object to the DAO support class. So I'm going to auto wire data source object here, and which will be given to the parent class, right? So this is the method I required here, and this method will receive one argument, and this argument is passed to the parent class. Look at this, super.set DAO support, and this object will be given to the parent class. Now we prefer to create all the DAOs through the interfaces. And why interfaces? Because there will be scope to change the implementation technology in future if you required. So here I am going to implement all the DAOs using the JDBC template API, but if you are using Hibernate in your project, you can change the implementation through the Hibernate, right? So let's talk about the two DAOs I'm going to use here. One is user DAO for user domain class, and contact DAO for contact domain class. So per entity we have one DAO interface, right? And the DAO interface contains prototype for the methods to handle the CRUD operations. So save, update, delete, find by ID, find all, find by property. So these are the methods working on single table will be added in the interface, right? And important thing is, don't forget to work on single table. So single table operations are implemented in the DAO, right? Now let's talk about the implementation. So it's time to implement the DAO interfaces with the help of base DAO support. So we are going to extend the base DAO support, and this will be ready to use object, and we will implement the interfaces here. So implementing the interface through the base DAO class. Now the implementation classes will be user DAO implementation and contact DAO implementation, and the great part is you can use implementation, you can make the implementation using JDBC template or named parameter JDBC template. So actually we are using named parameter JDBC DAO support, but don't worry, you will get support for both the things, JDBC template as well as named parameter JDBC template. So this is the overall arrangement I'm going to use here. Now let's come to the code. So here I have, this is my project, and my database server is also running behind. So all set for now. Now look at that, look at this. This is the package I am going to use here. So this is my contact application DAO. Just create here classes, interface. So this is the interface I am going to create here. This is user DAO interface. I will come back to this, just keep it like this, and then one more interface I required here. This is contact DAO This is another interface we have added. I will complete these interfaces. Just wait for a minute and create one class here. This is a class and we have to create this base DAO. So this is my base DAO class, and let me extend from named parameter DAO support I required here, right? This is the class I'm looking for. So this is named parameter DAO support, and this class is dependent on the data source. So let me supply the data source here using this method set data source. I will receive data source object here, and which will be given to the parent class. Data source I will receive here, and this data source is imported from Java x.sql.data source. Don't forget to implement from the right package, otherwise you will get some unexpected problems. And now look at the error, and the error is this method is a final method in parent class, and you cannot override method in final. Okay, so final, this method is already present in the parent class, so I cannot use this name, because while overriding you must have to use the common name, but I don't want to override any method here, so just make it 2, and I will get here data source object which will be given to the parent class. So there is one method set data source in parent class, pass the data source object to the parent class, right? So this is ready, and one important thing I'm going to use, I'm going to auto wire this, right? Now one important thing you can do here, don't create this object inside the IOC container, because this is actually not going to work independently. So I just want to make it abstract, because it must be inherited in your DAO, and I'm going to write one note. Do not use repository or service or component annotation, not required, because this is not going to independently exist in your container. Now this is ready, and it's time to come to the interfaces. So let me complete the interface. So I'm going to add here methods. This is public, and this is void save, and what to save user. So this is save user, you have to import this user. So this is save user from domain class. User is a domain class, right? So this is the user domain I'm importing, and add here some more methods. Just a moment, I will quickly change this. Save user, update user, delete user. In fact, you can delete user by user ID. So this is user ID I'm going to use here for deletion. In fact, you can pass the object for deletion. Now I'm going to add here find by ID. So when you pass primary key, you will get one object. So this is user, and the method is find by ID. So when you pass here primary key, you will get one record as a result, and that record will be represented as user. And you can use here find all. So this is find all, you will get all the users. So this is find all, you will get all the users, and when multiple users are there, there will be list of users, because list represents multiple values, and you need to import this list from util package. So list, not advising. Okay, this is the first one. So list of users I will get here, and one more method I'm going to add here, which is your find by ID. This is, sorry, not find by ID, this is find by property, and the property name I will ask. Property name is nothing but a column name, it's a property name, and the property value can be your any type. It can be integer, it can be string, it can be boolean, it can be float. So I'm using here object. So this is value of the property. This is property name and property value, right? So this is my one DAO. Similarly, I'm going to copy all these methods for the contact DAO interface. And what is the change I required here? I just have to make it so contact DAO will handle the CRUD operation for the contact entity. Just make it contact, and this is C and this is C, make it C, and this is your primary key, and this is contact ID, this is contact ID. Anything else we required here? Okay, this is what I forget to change. Okay, so this is another DAO interface I prepared for contact entity. So this is for contact entity and this is for the user entity, right? So all user related CRUD operations you will see here. An important thing is the single table operation must be implemented here. Do not write any of the logic here which is related to the join and all. So just keep it simple, neat and clean. Now it's time to go to the implementation. So I'm going to provide one implementation and I will quickly do the testing. So create here one user DAO implementation class, and this implementation is actually your repository class, because it is communicating to the database and handling the database. The class handling the database must be annotated using the repository. And now extend from the base DAO as we already discussed and as we planned in the slide, and this is the implementation of the user DAO. This is user DAO interface I'm going to implement. Now implement all abstract methods. Okay, this is all fine. It has generated the skeleton code here, and one by one I'm going to implement these methods. So the very first thing is I'm going to implement the save method, save operation. So just add one query here, and the good part is I'm going to use named parameter query. I'm going to use named parameters in my query. So this is SQL and this is insert into user table, and what are the columns I'm going to enter. Just open the workbench, just a minute. Meanwhile I can write here, this is name, phone number, email address, login name, and this is password, and what we have to enter here, this is role and this is login status. So probably these are the fields we have to enter. Just a moment, let me check, let me confirm all these fields from database table. Just a minute, please wait. Okay, it's ready. So check the user table and its columns. So we have user ID, so I'm not going to insert user ID because it will be generated by the database, because it is auto increment. Name, phone, email address, login name, password, and role and login status. So all the fields I have covered here properly. So this is name, phone, email address, login name, password, role, status. If you are getting problem in writing all these things, don't worry, you can copy all these fields here. Look at this, there is a provision to copy the columns here. So you can copy this short name of the column, so this will work for you, but I'm happy with this even. So this is ready. So these are the columns I'm going to insert into user, right? Query is correct, and then in second line I'm going to use values, and let me write here these. Do one thing, right here, this is name, these are the named parameter. So named parameters are declared using this colon. You can change the name of the parameter here, but I'm going to use the same name as my column name, right. So these are the named parameters. So insert into user, these many columns I'm going to insert, and values will be correct. So my named parameters are ready. It's time to bind the value for these parameters. So let me quickly bind all the values. So this is I'm going to use here map. So this is your query parameters. This is m for map, and this is representing the parameters. This is hash map you can create. Just a moment. So we have got the hash map here. Import from utility package and bind all the values here. This is put, bind the value for name. So this name is actually your named parameter. So named parameter name and the associated value. So associated value is present in user. So get user name. Okay, this is correct. So user this name is now bind with the name given by the user. Okay, and similarly I'm going to bind all the fields. Just a moment, quickly I will do this. Name, this is phone number, and phone number will be taken from user object. Then email address, so user dot get email, then address, this is get address, then name, phone, email address, login name, and this is user dot get login name. This is correct, and this is password, and password will be taken from the user object. Then role is, this is get role will be supplied here, and then login status is there. Sorry, it's fine. Now I'm going to use here key holder. Let me write this. I will talk about this. Key holder object will bind the value which is auto incremented and generated by the database. So the auto incremented value after insert will be present in this key holder object. So let me create the object here. This is generated key holder, and one more object I required here, SQL parameter source. So this is required. This is parameter source. Parameter source object represents from where the parameters will be taken for named parameter, from where the value for these named parameters will be supplied. So source of the value for named parameter is represented by the SQL parameter source. So I'm using here map. So there are multiple implementations for this interface. This is actually an interface, and there are multiple implementations for this. I'm using here map based implementation. So this is map I'm going to use, and I have got all the parameters in the map. So these are the parameters I supplied to the map parameter source, and this is my parameter source because it is containing value for all the named parameter. Now it's time to execute. So get the you can get the object here for this named parameter and call this method update. And look at this, I'm going to pass query, parameter source, and key holder, right? And this method is inherited from the parent class. This method is inherited from the parent class, right? Now the important job I'm going to use here is I have got the generated value here, and the ID I'm going to set in this object, because this user object has all the details for user except user ID, because user ID will be generated after storing the data into database. So because that is auto increment, so you have all the values, and you have there is no user ID in this user object, but I have got the user ID in this key holder. So let me get that. So this is integer user ID I will get here, which is auto incremented. So this is key holder dot get key and dot int value. So integer value will be given, and now set to your user object so that you can access this user ID from where you have been calling this method, right? So this is ready. Your DAO save method is implemented, and we have done here repository. It is very important because Spring framework will not recognize if it is not annotated here either through the service and a component or repository. But repository is a more specific for DAOs because it is handling the database, and databases are nothing but a repository, right? So it is good practice to use here repository. It's time to do a quick testing, right? Before going to test this, I'm going to check whether your Spring framework can scan these DAOs. So you can check the configuration. This is root configuration, and here I'm going to change this strategy. Just a minute. In previous example I have commented, but now I'm going to use it, and I'm going to specify the package where I'm going to scan the classes. So this is the package. I'm going to use this package to scan the class. I will come back here and do more changes, but for now, for testing purpose, I'm going to use only this package to scan my DAOs and test it properly, right? So Spring will identify my DAOs from this location. It's time to create a class here. So this is my class, main class I'm going to creating in the test package. This is the test package location, and here I'm going to create one test d user DAO, and I'm going to test here save operation. So this is the area where I'm going to test. You can use some professional testing practices like JUnit. You can use Spring has support for unit testing using JUnit. So the whole framework can be independently tested, and this is the power of the Pojo based programming. But I'm not using JUnit here, and without JUnit I can test my operations. So let me create here application context object. This is context equals to new annotation configuration I'm using here, and pass that Spring root configuration file where you are configuring your business layer. So this is my root configuration where two objects will be two kind of beans will be there, services and DAOs. And now find your user DAO here. So this is the DAO, and I will get this DAO from the factory. So get bean of type user DAO, and this is class. Okay, so here I will get ready to use bean with all the beans, all the dependencies are set properly. Now we have to call a save method. Before that I need to pass here user. So I'm going to create a sample user here. Generally this user will be prepared after getting the data from the registration form. So user will enter the details in registration form, and those values will be bind to the user object, which is a domain object. Then domain object will be given to the DAO. Okay, so this is all done through the controller, but as we have no controller right now, so I can test without controller. So let's assume that the user details will be taken from registration form. So this is user registration form, so we'll do it later on. So create the sample data here. So this is name of the user. I'm going to create here one user. This is Amit, and user dot set phone number. I'm going to set some phone number, and this is user dot set email address, and email address is amit@ezeon.net, and user dot set address. Let me set the address here. This is Mumbai. User dot set login name. So login name will be, let's say it's Amit, and user dot set password. The password must be encrypted, but I'm going to use a simple password. So this is Amit123, and let's say the role of the user is let's say it is 1 means admin. So this is admin role. So it's my assumption. I will create constant for this in coming session. So 1 will be admin, and user dot set login status active means 1. So this is admin means 1, login status. This is 1 represents active state, the user can log in. Now these details are already all prepared and now passed to the DAO. So this is user DAO dot save. So this is all fine. Just write one more message here, data saved. Just quickly clean build this project and run it. I always prefer to do the clean build because sometime it is not taking my changes. So do the clean build and run it. Just wait for some time, it is still processing 50%. Just wait. Okay, the build process is completed. Now run your class. This is your recently created class, test user DAO save operation. I am going to test here. Now run this. We have created one user, Amit user we have created. Look at this, data saved fine, and the process is completed. Go to the table and check the data. Just a minute, right click here, select records. Can we see here user? Yes, this is the Amit we have registered recently. So this is Amit I have recently tested from my DAO. So this is all fine, and we have done here implementation for the single method save method. In coming video session I will discuss about the update, delete and other remaining methods here. So it was a great session. If you have not subscribed, just go and subscribe, and you will be getting excellent updates, excellent videos in coming series. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in next video.